What do you think of, or who do you think of when you hear the name Nikola Tesla?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Unless he has something to do with the new car, Tesla.
Tesla cars.
I think that's a super strange name, but it sounds like it would be like a pretty smart person.
The name sounds so familiar. A movie that I heard, maybe like from the 1990s. I'm not really for sure.
These are just a few of the responses people gave when they asked about Nikola Tesla. Let me say this. No man has accomplished more in electric energy than Nikola Tesla. Unfortunately, many people today either have no idea who this great man is or how different the world would be if he never existed. I'm here today to change this. Sadly, only about 10 minutes to briefly go over his life and his numerous inventions that changed the world forever. Now let me tell you about one of the most amazing scientists that has lived in the last 200 years, Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was born on July 10th, 1856 in what is now Croatia. It is said that he was born at the stroke of midnight during a massive summer thunderstorm. From a young age, Tesla knew he was meant for more than just military service or priesthood. Encouraged by his open-minded mother, he became inspired to devote his life to science. When asked, he would state that he often actually had visions of great scientific advances throughout his life, especially during his youth. These visions would often inspire him to eventually make amazing inventions. One of the most influential events in his life occurred when he contracted cholera at the age of 17. This event spurred his lifelong obsession with hygiene. During this time, he was actually bedridden for over 9 months, nearly dying as a result. In desperation, Tesla's father agreed that if he recovered, he would send Tesla to the best engineering school possible. In 1877, Tesla started attending the Austrian Polytechnic School in Graz and became entranced by electricity and light. Things went fairly well until he was publicly humiliated by his professor for his idea about using alternating currents, stating, "Mr. Tesla will never accomplish this." Well, to be clear, Tesla did not discover AC current. He did make it actually applicable for widespread use across the globe. After this, he soon left Graz and found work in Budapest until he had a revelation about how to create an alternating current motor and eventually turbines. This idea would eventually lead him to travel to America and try to make his dream a reality. Having greatly admired the famed inventor Thomas Edison, he went to work for him on a recommendation from one of Edison's colleagues in Europe. This would eventually lead to one of the bitterest rivalries in the last 200 years. As many people could tell you, Thomas Edison is best known for his creation of the Edison bulb and his complete devotion to direct current, or DC current, and his utter detest of alternating current, or AC current, in anyone who advocated it. This mindset would eventually lead him at odds with Tesla, who advocated AC current. Eventually, this dispute would lead to what papers call the War of Currents, which, by the way, is what inspired a certain Australian band to call themselves AC/DC. For those of you who do not understand AC or DC current, I'll make it easy for you. AC current is good for maintaining and increasing electrical voltage over long distances. Tesla's turbines and motors made this a reality. So AC current is good for making electricity and transmitting it. This is why power plants can transfer energy over hundreds of miles to light homes, businesses, and pretty much everything connected to a power line. While DC current is better for powering electrical equipment, because its inability to maintain proper voltage over distances, if we went with Edison's idea, we'd need a power station every mile or so. So essentially, DC current is good for harnessing electricity created by AC current to power things. So items like cell phones, computers, TVs, all use DC current. Because houses are powered by AC current today, we need a kind of a converter to convert it from AC to DC. That is why there's a little square box at the end of a power cable for like your iPhone or computers. That is actually the adapter that converts AC to DC. He did not actually create this, but this is something that actually makes it work. The war of currents went on between Tesla and Edison for years. And at times, Edison, who was an extremely sore loser, would use AC current to electrocute animals such as elephants, and even went on to try to electrocute a condemned prisoner, which Tesla deemed as inhumane and barbaric, just to discredit Tesla. But the war of currents came to an end when, in 1893, Tesla successfully lit Chicago World's Fair with AC current motors. After seeing the successful use of AC current and motors, J.P. Morgan would hire Tesla to eventually build the turbines that would draw power from Niagara Falls and fulfilling one of Tesla's long-life dreams of gaining that power. Hydroelectric plant would eventually be able to use AC current to send power 20 miles all the way to Buffalo, New York, and eventually to New York City itself. At the fair, Tesla actually had his own personal exhibit showcasing his many wonders, including his development of neon signs and the Tesla coil that he used to perform electrical marvels. The Tesla coil is one of Nikola Tesla's most identifiable creations that could probably be seen in every science center in the world to help teach people about electricity and currents. Created in 1891, it uses primary and secondary coils, each with its own capacitor that stores energy and connected by a spark gap, resulting in an ability to shoot lightning and circulate electrical currents through the body, making marvels to make people glow, make their hair go up on end. Surprisingly, many people today actually use Tesla coils to make music. Here's an example of how they do it. If you do not recognize this song, I pity you and you need to watch more 80s movies. Mr. Tesla, if you were still alive, I hope you would at least be impressed about what people have learned to do with your coils. Moving on, in 1898, Nikola Tesla exhibited at the Electrical Expedition at Madison Square Garden the world's first remote control device called the teleautomatron. Because it's also used robotics and radio control, this makes it actually the great-grandfather of modern-day drones. Funny enough, the U.S. Patent Office actually did not let him patent the design before because they did not actually think it was feasibly possible. At the event, he actually had to open up the device and show people there wasn't a little person inside moving it. Tesla did in fact work with radio waves and set to try and transmit them over distances, but seriously was delayed after fire burned down his laboratory in 1895, in which he would lose, as the papers would put it, a half of lifetime of work, including his work on X-rays and shadowgraphs. In 1897, Tesla would submit a patent for a simple radio device that was actually much stronger than what publicly accepted father of radio, Elmo Marconi, actually initially created. In 1900, Marconi actually tried to submit a patent of his own design, but was denied because they were far too similar to Tesla's. In 1901, using a number of Tesla's patents, including a Tesla oscillator, he was able to send a radio signal across the Atlantic. And in 1904, the U.S. patent actually, oddly enough, reversed their decision and gave Marconi his patent, despite him actually using a lot of Tesla's patents. Tesla would eventually try to sue Marconi later in life and his company for patent infringement, but by that time he was so penniless he couldn't keep up with the case. This was one of the most tragic happenings in Tesla's life. The radio, one of the biggest inventions of the 20th century, was only possible because of his work. He would not actually receive any of the credit he deserved till several months after he died, when the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Marconi's patents. Sadly, by 1943, Tesla was actually penniless despite the amazing things he created for the world, and would die on January 7th, 1943, penniless and dejected by society. By the end of his time on Earth, Nikola Tesla actually had over 250 patents worldwide. Such inventions including the magnifying transmitter, the rotating magnetic field, the induction motor, and the Tesla valve. Tesla's actually been honored over the past decades with things like statues all over the world, museums, even postage stamps. His name has been given to numerous things in the past decades to honor him, including a Nikola Tesla Award for outstanding contributions to the generation and utilization of electrical power, a New York street corner, a unit of magnetic flux called a Tesla, and even an airport. Life magazine actually ranked Tesla as the 57th most famous person in the last 1,000 years in their 1997 fall issue, People of the Millennium. Hopefully in this short documentary I helped you understand just a little bit of the genius that was Nikola Tesla, and inspire you to try to learn even more about him, such places as Tesla Universe or the PBS special. So remember, when thinking of electricity, lightning, radio, and drones, think of Tesla before anybody else.